here on ESPN Radio. ESPN2, we are presented by Progressive Insurance. News story has just dropped, ESPN.com. Tim McManus, who covers the Eagles. I'm going to read this for you. It just came out, and it is juicy. Coach Nick Sirianni indicated there was mutual interest between receiver A.J. Brown and the team in continuing his career with the Eagles, but neither he nor general manager Howie Roseman committed to Brown suiting up for them next season. Quote, yeah, my expectation is he wants to be here. And obviously you want good players like that in your building, Sirianni said during a local media session in front of the Combine. As Howie said, it's hard to get good players in this league. AJ's a great player, and AJ is a good teammate, and AJ is a good person. Does he want to be here? Yes. Do I want him to be here? Yes. When asked directly if Brown will be here next season, Sirianni's response was not as straightforward. Quote, will AJ be here next season? I think we're in a spot like I can't guarantee how anything is going to play out into next season. I'm thinking I'm going to be the coach next season, but you can't guarantee anything past tomorrow, he said. We'll stop there for right now.
Yeah,
What?
let's stop down right there.
Your thoughts?
Well, what? You're not going to get...
That was my reaction.
You're putting yourself on the hot seat? We're just reacting to this in real time. We literally just got this. And that is my first reaction. Why are you voluntarily saying, I think I'm going to be the coach next season, but you can't guarantee anything past tomorrow? While he's technically correct, especially in a place like Philadelphia, that organization is constantly in pursuit of being elite. And if it doesn't matter if you won a Super Bowl 2 seasons ago, if they think a change is necessary, they're going to make it. So I understand him being realistic about that fact. But why are you saying that to the media? Why are you voluntarily putting yourself on the hot seat?
Yeah, a coach months removed from winning a championship speculating about his job security, that's a new one on me.
Yeah, that's surprising.
I haven't seen this one, but it just goes to show you that there's a lot of pressure in Philadelphia going into this season. And what happened with offensive line coach Jeff Stoutland and how everything went down with him not wanting to be the run game coordinator because he didn't have the influence in the run game that he expected to under new offensive coordinator Kevin Patullo, the tension that existed between Patullo and some of the key players on the offensive side of the ball, not getting the best out of A.J. Brown, not getting the best out of Saquon Barkley, not getting the best out of Jalen Hurts. I think Nick Sirianni is in a position where he feels all of that. And going into 2026, Howie Roseman has put together a championship caliber roster. If Nick Sirianni can't deliver on that more so than what he did this year in terms of being one and done in a home playoff game, then all of a sudden now the door is ajar for the Philadelphia Eagles to pivot and go in a different direction when it comes to head coach.
More from this story from Tim McManus. ESPN.com covers the Eagles. Brown, though, called Philadelphia home and said he was fortunate to be one of the leaders on the Eagles offense during an appearance on Micah Parsons' podcast during the Super Bowl week, adding that he was excited about some of the coaching staff changes. He also separately did go on with Julian Edelman and Rob Gronkowski on their podcast. And I think that was a very conscious decision by him because everyone knows, and if you don't, I'll remind you, he grew up a big Patriots fan. He loves the Patriots. He loved the Patriots. He played for Vrabel in Tennessee. It's like, hey, if I'm going to do appearances, let the Eagles know that's there for me.
He also, Julian Edelman, at the open of the podcast said, we're all Patriots here. And A.J. Brown kind of laughed and winked and then was like, no, I'm trolling. But he fed into it a little bit. That got a lot of people talking after he was on the Dudes on Dudes podcast.
Yeah, and one thing about A.J. Brown, no dummy. You may not like what he says or how he goes about it, but he's very, very shrewd in the way he's going about it. He's not going on a random, ex-Chargers podcast, although that would be an interesting fit also. But he's very conscious of where does everyone think he would go if he got traded?
Or where would I maybe like to go?
Yeah, does Thurman Thomas have a podcast? Because maybe you're going to go on that one too. A Bills, is he going to make the rounds that way? So if Nick Sirianni can't guarantee that A.J. Brown is back with the Eagles, I ask both of you, will A.J. Brown be back with the Eagles next year?
No. I don't think he'll be back with the Eagles. I don't know how Nick Sirianni can assert himself as the guy, and I don't know how they can show confidence in the direction that they're going in with A.J. Brown continuing to question his role and question whether or not the powers that be are using all of the key players to the best of their abilities. I don't think you can have a player of that caliber, one of the very best in his position, and somebody that is not shy about letting his feelings be known, publicly and privately criticizing the head coach and the offensive coordinator in the way that he did this season. I don't know that Nick Sirianni can survive that. And here's the thing, if he could wrangle this and rein A.J. Brown in, he would have done it by now. And the fact that he hasn't lets me know that he can't get a handle on it. And if you can't get a handle on it, then you have to move on from the player. It's as simple as that for me.
I think he'll be there, but I think this is shrewd by Howie Roseman and Nick Sirianni. I don't know if it's true for Nick Sirianni to say he might not be there, but I think that this approach is smart because you know that there's tension there. And don't you want to listen to all of the offers that could be out there for him before you decide whether or not you want to bring him back? They know the lay of the land. They know what the tension is. They know whether or not everyone in that locker room can coexist with one another. And if A.J. Brown can ultimately be happy there and not say the things that he said publicly and cause the drama and the headlines. But somebody like A.J. Brown just doesn't grow on a tree. And Howie Roseman knows that you need to get a certain amount of return if you're going to move on from a player like that. So this is an interesting approach as far as I'm concerned, because they're saying, we know how talented he is. We want him to be here, but we can't guarantee anything. They've left the door open for other teams to come to them with an offer. And then
he's not a free agent.
And they can ultimately decide. And by saying how good he is and reiterating how talented he is, you're telling them it's going to take a lot for us to let go of him. And ultimately, I think he stays because the Eagles would have to absorb that dead cap hit. It's over $40 million if they deal him prior to June.
Yeah, but let me say this, Smalls, and I hear you on the finances of it. There's always a way to make it work if you want to move on from a player or if you want to keep a player, resign a player, so on and so forth. I mean, the salary cap, to me, it's a thing, but it's not really real in terms of what the actual numbers say. I will contend that Nick Sirianni, and I'll bring this back to real life, he is coaching for his job in 2026. When you're up against it, when you're backed into a corner, do you want somebody that has publicly criticized the offense and how he's being utilized as the person that you need to get you out of that corner? Do you want to entrust a guy that has publicly said that he doesn't trust that the coaching staff is putting him in the best situations to be successful? I mean, think about it. If you were doing a job and you had to do it at a high level, otherwise you would get fired, do you want somebody that has publicly said they can't trust you?
It's the greatest point anybody's made about this.
Probably not.
Yeah, this is
if
exactly
you're Nick Sirianni, why would you want to have A.J. Brown on this team if at every turn you have to worry about this guy going on a Twitch stream or going on social media or saying something that is critical of how you're operating the team and putting it out there in the public sphere? You wouldn't want to do that. You don't want people that are supposed to be helping you to do the job second-guessing your leadership.
It's exactly right. It's a great, great, great point you just made. And I do think that I'm going to go back to one of the great films ever, Bad Boys. We ride together.
We die together.
And that's the whole point. They don't ride together.
No.
So if you're going to die, you can't die together with somebody you're not riding with. And I think, no, I'm serious. Like, that's what it is.
But were they riding together when they won the Super Bowl?
No. They just happen to have success.
But that's what is it necessary for them to all ride together in order for them to replicate that success?
Last season told us it is.
Okay.
What happened last year told us it is.
Smalls, I know you well enough to know that if somebody told you, hey, this is your ride or die year, if you're going to make it, you have to be great this year. I know exactly the people that if you had the choice, you would say, I need this person, that person, and this person with me, because if I'm going down with them, because I know I could trust them in that spot. And Cece's point is a great one, that Nick Sirianni, in a way, has to be a little selfish here. And he has to say here's what I would do if I'm Howie Roseman. I mean, if I'm Nick Sirianni, get me a first for him, but then use that first to get me somebody else.
Okay. Counter here. He had his guys last year. He was very steadfast in his support of Kevin Patullo, and he was wrong. It did not work out.
And somehow they gave him life support.
But that put him in this position.
Isn't that crazy?
Maybe the guy who was screaming from the rooftops that it wasn't working and A.J. Brown was right. Maybe he is taking a different approach this year because the way he went about it, or they went about it last year, did not turn out the way that they wanted it to or expected it to.
I've been thinking about this since this broke 5 minutes ago.
I'm glad you put so much thought into it.
Yeah. Well, what did you want me to do? I didn't know that this was happening today. I'm getting the first from Buffalo, and I'm calling the Jets for Garrett Wilson, and they're saying no. I'm calling the Cardinals for Marvin Harrison Jr.
Are you sure that the Jets are saying no?
Okay, that's my point.
Because the Jets had Garrett Wilson on the block at the trade deadline this year.
All right, so then there we go.
They're unloading everything.
I'm fine trading A.J. Brown for a younger version, not the same player type, but the same position of A.J. Brown. No harm, no foul.
That's significantly less noisy.
If I have A.J. Brown out on Thursday and I have Marvin Harrison Jr. or Garrett Wilson in on Thursday night,
yeah, I'm cool.
We're good.
I'm cool.
We're good. All right, cool. Just solved the Eagles' problems. Coming up, what to watch for this week, power rankings with CC with the Combine coming up, and obviously now we have news around the Philadelphia Eagles. And you heard a voice that is connected to my lawn earlier this show. What? Yeah, JB Bickerstaff. If you remember our social media video where I was a lawn guy and walking around, JB Bickerstaff was sitting right next to me as I'm wheeling my True Green thing around the studio.
I forgot, yes.
And that is what I'm thinking about when I'm thinking about